What's up, YouTube? Mr. Charlie Black coming back at you with another. This is something kind of different, and this is about really cutting the BS and looking yourself directly in the mirror. And you'll get what I'm talking about. I've been so scatterbrained tonight, and I felt the need to post, so I'm going all out on it. I'm doing a different set of topics. Usually I'm talking about more current events and things. I'm not in the mood for that exactly at this point. But anyway, I'm a true believer in knowing yourself for you. What that means is, people may know different things about you, but they should never be able to tell you more about yourself than you already know. You should be your best friend. You should know yourself the best. And you shouldn't hide from things about yourself that you think people cannot see. If you're a shy person, if you tend to cover your mouth a lot when you speak, that's a personality trait that's unique to you. Own it. You're a shy person. You know that. This came up because I was in the Walgreens and I was getting cashew nuts out of the Walgreens, and so I was going down the cashew nut aisle. Of course, it's all the way at the back, and there was this lady, and she was a big lady. And of course, Mr. Charlie Black is a big man, so what can I do? I'm not embarrassed. But I was at the end of the aisle, and she was coming down the aisle, and she was pretty huge, pretty wide. So I was at the end of the aisle, and I moved to the right side so she could get the hell on, and I can move in. She's carrying a bag of chips. She's carrying some of that cheese stuff in the jar. She's carrying like a bunch of little snacks or whatever. And so I'm not really paying too much attention to it at that time, but I'm just walking through after she passes. But then she turns around really quickly and she was like, what you did was just rude. And I said, what do you mean? She says to me, what you did was make extra room for me because of my size. It's as if to say, you're fat. Let me feel sorry for you and move to the side. It cracked me up. And it cracked me up not because it was so true, but I said, what do you want me to do? My big ass and your big ass going down the same aisle together? There are bound to be some problems. This woman was probably like 2.5 of me. So it's either I move out of the way, or I go down there and we're shoulder to shoulder, knocking chips and granola bars and shit over. And that's not what I want to go through. So why do all the dramatics and just get to the bottom, the nitty gritty? So I looked at her and I said, are you a fat woman? And she said, what kind of question is that? I looked at her, I said, it's an honest one. Do you consider yourself fat? I said, you're obviously a larger woman. You're holding snacks in your hand. You see me. I'm obviously a larger young man. What about that tells either of us that it's wrong? Admit it. I made room for you because it was necessary. And if you had such a problem with people doing that to you, where you have the time to sit there and analyze it when they actually move, that tells me that you're well aware of your size and you choose to do nothing about it. So until you slim down to the point where you feel like you don't need that extra room and people actually receive that from you, you're going to be getting that your entire life. And if that's something that you want to own up to and deal with, then own up to it. Don't hide behind it. If you're fat, so what? Who can tell you about that better than yourself? I mean, people can make jokes all the time. Some people come to my YouTube page and they talk all kinds of crap. Why don't you do some crunches? I do crunches. Captain Crunch, Nestle's Crunch, Crunch and Munch. I do my crunches. Do you? There's nothing about myself. I'll take that back. There's not one person walking the face of this earth that can tell me more about myself than I already know. And there's nothing about myself that I can hide, that I won't offer to somebody as information about myself, unless I deem that it's necessary to do so. There are a lot of psychotic people online who have asked me my address, and if I've never seen you a day in my life, you're not getting that, of course. But this is just the reality of that situation. So what I say to people is, know yourself better than anybody else out there is going to be able to know you. Know all your sides, your good and your bad. I hate it, and maybe this is just a big boy thing, or big people thing in general. I hate it when big people walk around as if nobody knows that they're fat. As if they don't look in the mirror every day. And you know what? Honestly, some people really, really don't. They take a quick glimpse just to make sure there's nothing on their face, but they don't really stand back and look fully in the mirror. I'm the kind of person, I'm going to face it. You know? Maybe I'm more well-adjusted than some other people, but I'm not going to go walk around tugging at my shirt because I bought one that didn't really fit me. I'm not going to walk around acting like I'm skinny. Or when people, call me big or fat, I'm not going to sit there and look like, oh my gosh, you just called me fat. So the hell what? That's like calling me black. Hello. Unless I missed something along the way. Obviously. So what else do you have to say? Really, what else do you have to say? Admit your weaknesses, admit your strengths, know them all. Get to know yourself. That is such a powerful thing. Because if you know yourself, who can tell you about yourself? Who you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to be. Not a damn person walking the face of this earth. And ultimately, we will never fully know ourselves because sometimes we change our minds about things. But we can know a large majority of ourselves to the point where we can walk around self-assured. And if you're going to be big, be big. Be big all day, all week, all year long, all lifetime if you can. But if you want to change that thing about yourself, then that's fine. But don't take away from the fact that the reality sets in that you are the way that you are at the time that you are that way. So many tongue twisters I just said right now. But the reality is that people can see you. People see things in you, people see your personality, and it's not about what you deliver to them or what you allow them to see. People can see right through you. Some people gauge you better than others. Anytime that I put my face out here, anytime that I walk out on the street, people see me. And there are some people that look at me and they glimpse, they don't really take anything. There are other people who can focus on me and study me and tell me things about my personality that may be true, that I may have not discovered yet. And that's just because that's their ability. And it's because it's what they seek out, or it's because of the way that their brain functions. And I'm the same way. Some people are just excellent readers of people. And, some people, most people have vision, are blessed with vision. And if you have some external circumstances, such as weight, such as some kind of, mutation or deformity somewhere along the way, don't get offended when somebody tells you about it. Own it. Stop running from it. Because at the end of the day, it's not going anywhere unless you do something about it. And if you haven't done anything about it yet, then obviously it's still there and it's still a problem. I think that comes from the family unit. When you're at home, when you have that child that does odd things or looks a certain way, the family never talks about it. The family never opens up to that child and says, okay, this is what's going on with you. Society is going to look at you and see this. We don't care. That doesn't stop you from being who you are. That doesn't stop you from being the best person that you can be. A lot of families sweep it under the rug and only use it in times of anger. I mean, think about that. From weight to mental retardation, how many kids out there have certain, I don't want to call them defects, but heck, defects. I have certain defects, and everybody just doesn't notice them until the point where they can't deny it. Even friends out there can be the best of friends with you. They can know all your flaws without you even having to let them know exactly where they are. They can pinpoint them. And they may not point those things out, but go ahead and piss your friend off one day and see how many fat black son of bitches you are in one sentence, or whatever your case is. See how many names that they call you. So know yourself, love yourself, accept yourself. You're not going anywhere until the day you die, and you don't have control over what day that is. So until then, deal with yourself And if you don't like certain things about yourself and you're able to make them better, not by dangerous methods, but if you're able to make them better, and I'm talking about better in the long run overall, go for it. Empower yourself, but know yourself first. That's my message to YouTubers. Stay tuned. I should have some more to come.